Thank you for staying with us. The Standards Organization of Nigeria has ramped up measures to stem wide circulation of substandard imported and locally manufactured products. The Quality Control Agency is also working on ensuring Nigeria's products are competitive in quality for the purposes of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Also plans to bring back identification marks to enable consumers check for quality assurance in a more sustainable way. The Standards Organization is making plans to reintroduce identification marks on products as opposed to current practice where one buys a product and scratch and text the numbers to a short code for confirmation. S.O.N says access to quality and safe products is key to sustaining life and promoting economic growth. Well, joining us now is the Director General Standards Organization of Nigeria, Mallam Farouk. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Right, now let's begin with understanding the role of calibration to the country, especially the common man.
Well, the simplest way to look at calibration is basically you want to buy a bag of rice, 50 grams or 25 grams, you need to have that amount in the bag. There are certain situations where you have unscrupulous elements. They'll go and buy bags and then they take out little amount out of the bags to create more bags. So calibration, what it does is it prevents the industry from losing money, because the more you produce stuff that you give more than you're supposed to give, when you lose money. And then the consumer is not protected because whatever is coming out of the factory is accurate. I mean, there are occasions where you look at like a tin of Milo, you open it and it's like half, and you haven't even started using it. So calibration makes sure that as long as the industry, they are playing appropriately, there is no excuse from their machines to provide goods that are below what they're supposed to be. And then, you know, like medicine, if you buy medicine in Lagos, or you buy it in India, or you buy it in America, you like to take the same strength of aspirin, and if that strength is always altered because the calibration in the industry producing that product is wrong, it can kill somebody, or it can be underutilized while your problem continues. So calibration basically is like the blood of life for everybody, including the industry.
People are really worried about standards in Nigeria, areas of food and areas of medicine.
Yes.
There was a former secretary to the government in one of the states who I met a few years ago, and he said, please, I want to go to, it was in Lagos. He said, I want to go and get some medications from a certain well-known pharmacy.
Yes.
He said, because when I was secretary to government in my own state, we spent a lot of money trying to get surgeries for a lot of people because they were taking fake medicine. And what we were doing to just the consequences of the fake medicine is what we were doing, because most people cannot guarantee in our state and in many states. They can pick some well-known pharmacies and say, no, I know that when I go to this pharmacy, I can only Lagos and Abuja, he said, that he could guarantee that. It means that a vast majority of Nigerians are swallowing placebos in the name of curing themselves. How are you handling this kind of this? It's a national emergency that is understated.
Well, for practical purposes, drugs and food are the purview of NAFDAC, and they're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah. You
see, the difference between a fake product and the product that is calibrated poorly is very clear. You see, the calibration, poor calibration, is an innocent attempt by the industry to produce a product, but it becomes substandard because the machines are not calibrated. But when you have individuals deliberately trying to produce fake products, fake substance, now that's the issue where things are either imported or produced from the original purpose, they're already fake. And like coming back to the calibration issue we're talking about, if you look at an iron rod, if you bought 40 tons of iron rod, and their machine in the industry, you drive the truck over the machine, it says it's 40 tons, but when you go home to your industry, it's only 35 tons. Then you as a dealer, you are cheated. And then the problem doesn't stop there. It starts at the quality of the product. So you can build a tall building assuming that you have a certain mass in the iron and steel. Yes. But because it was poorly calibrated, now there's no deliberate attempt by the industry to produce a substandard product, then the building can collapse based on just poor calibration. Now, we have a lot of substandard products in the market for various reasons. One of the reasons are that the consequences we have as society are either not implemented fully or they even don't exist. Like our act was, was reviewed in 2015. At that time, one of the things they were adding is if there's a penalty, you pay ₦1 million or you pay 2 million naira. Now, 7 years ago, the ₦1 million is different from the ₦1 million today. So one of the things we are doing now is we're going back to the National Assembly with this same National Assembly to change the language, to put a minimum on the fines, so that now, even in 10 years' time, if our naira becomes strong, then we say a minimum of this. If it becomes weak, a minimum without a ceiling. So now we can impose penalties that will hurt the individual, because any person trying to peddle a substandard goods, they're doing it for profit purposes. If the product is not profitable anymore because individuals are not buying or individuals are prosecuting, like in other crimes, when you buy a substandard product, you go to court. That person, if they're found guilty, they actually file bankruptcy. But in our country, our normal attitude generally is you go to the market, you buy a product, it's bad, you throw it in the trash, cost the person who made it, and then go and buy another one. You're not going to bring it to an authority like ours and say, hey, listen, this is my receipt, this man refused to give me back my money, because we even have to have the culture of going back. Even if it is 1,000 naira, you buy something that is bad, go back to that shop, go to that kiosk and say, give me my money, because this is wrong. And then if they refuse to give you your money, then you escalate. We have offices, we have websites, we have everything where we can actually follow there. Because the problem people tend to forget is the fact that 1,000 naira product, if you multiply it by $1 million, that's a lot of money. But to you, maybe 1,000, because you're too busy, you have to go to work, you're late, you don't want to waste your time, is nothing. So we as individuals, we have to have this zeal to protect ourselves and our environment.
Perhaps there's also the matter of processes, that it might be too long for some persons. When you look at the process of getting justice, when it's come to our office and all of the technicalities involved before getting justice for that 1,000 naira might just discourage somebody.
Not necessarily. You see a phone call away. For example, you're on your way, you bought a bulb yesterday, your house bought it for you, you didn't like it, you have your receipt, take a picture of the receipt, take a picture of the bulb, send it to our website, send it through an email, call a phone number. It takes you 2-3 minutes. On your way, if you happen to pass one of our offices, we have like 3 offices in Lagos, you can go there and have somebody, even somebody who can do it on your behalf. So the processes depends on what you are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with social media, we are available on the social media. We have handles, you can just send it, and then from there, our people will follow up.
How can you give me an example of how you have responded to this kind of thing? And how many people have received, how many of such complaints you have received?
Well, I mean, there are so many of them. For example, we have people who bought iron rods, and the measurement of the iron rods, it says probably 12 millimeters, but essentially it's 10 millimeters. In those situations, we follow to the dealer, we find out the dealer will give us a receipt from which industry he bought it from, and then we rate the industry, surprise rate a lot of times, which we've done. Like in November, we've done that to several industries where we caught a lot of fake. I mean, when you say fake, in those days, it means the standards are below. Because one has to understand that it can be a real iron rod, but the sizes are wrong, because then the claim is wrong. So that makes it fake or substandard. We did those, and then we are sanitizing the industry based on reports of consumers. It's the same thing with other products in the market.
So as your sanitization of the of substandard products are abating?
Well, we are decreasing the level. You see, this is like a floodgate. For years, we are not able to go to the source of substandard goods coming in. Because 85% of the products coming to this country come from this Lagos here in Apapa and all these other port entries. And we were not allowed to be in those ports because of various reasons from previous governments of ease of doing business, because people were assuming that if you ask them, let's inspect this product in a container, we are stopping them from doing their business. And now our priorities are we going to let somebody bring his container so quickly and clear into the market, or do we test these products to make sure? But, you know, from July, we were allowed to temporarily be back, and we've done a lot of work with products that are substandard into the market. But the problem is the temporarily. If that temporariness is removed, our people will have more effort, because we have labs that will test these products. We have a whole warehouse in Amodofin where if a product gets out of the port, the customs finish their job, other agencies finish their job, but we have questions. We move the product out of the port so it doesn't block somebody else. And then within 24 hours, we check the products to see whether it is good quality or bad quality. We have labs, 48 accredited labs around the whole world. So we have the ability to test these products. A lot of times we're just blocked because, you know, the misconception is ease of doing business means ease of doing import. And it's not true. No country survives by just opening their door to everything that comes in. It's like you can't just open your house to everything because you want to be a nice neighbor. So we have to get a level where we control these things. And now with this AFTA coming in, a lot of industries are setting up now in our neighbors with the plan that we protect the quality, and then people who are guilty of it, I give you enough penalty to discourage them from doing it again. Because there are certain people, you know, that was several years ago of one of the former administrators has this individual continuously breaking the rule. So he said, my brother, why are you doing this? He said, well, if I bring 10 containers, if you catch 9 and I get away with 1, I'll make more profit to cover the 9 containers.
All right.
So it's consequences.
All right.